And as I walked through the room, I realized how important it is to talk to people and get to know people, and how tough it is sometimes to just break that barrier. I think the type of people, knowing, you're sitting in a room with 40, 50, 60 other people that are trying to do the same thing that you are, and there's comfort in knowing that you're all going through this together. So if we can all lean each other as resources, like, okay, I've gotten this far, how far have you gotten along, what did you do? You can compare stories and kind of push each other to get through to the finish line.
Favorite thing about the event? There are so many things. So the moment I walked in, the energy, the crowd, the girls, I loved how inviting everything was. Everyone was, from the moment, Bethany's attention, she has everything going on, and she still went ahead and still said hi to us. Just everything together, all the businesses, the women, how everything was set up. Everything was great. Now it's going to empower me to know that I have a connection with all these women that I met today, that I have someone that I can reach out to, and if I do have an idea, if I do need to ask for help, I know I have a network of women that will help me. Congrats, Bethany, on this amazing event. I hope we get to do another one. I hope this is a quarterly event. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope more girls get to see this.
Me ha inspirado conocer a tantas mujeres que están en la misma situación que uno, que son mujeres excepcionales con muchas ganas de trabajar, muchas ganas de triunfar y ganas de apoyarse las unas a las otras. Pues creo que uno es el resultado de la gente con la que se rodea. Entonces me parece súper importante conectar con gente buena, positiva, luchadora, porque al final te hace ser mejor persona cada día.
Because I'm all about women, empower women in business. So Females for Profit sounded like a great idea to connect with other women that are entrepreneurs or career driven. Because definitely when you think of Miami and you think of women, sometimes you don't know what to get, right? You don't know if you're going to get women that don't care to get to know you, or competitive or whatever. Competitive in a bad way. But to my surprise, everyone was super humble, super down to earth. The panelists were super approachable, and they were very genuine, open about even their mistakes. And they spoke about things that I, as an entrepreneur, I experienced, so I was able to connect with the panelists. And I love that Bethany's heart was what she said at the beginning. I didn't want this to be another event, which is why she hired you and made time to create, the questions. And what I found, another thing that was very unique, that as I observed myself, my mom was here too, she's my business partner, and other women, everybody was saying that they connected with, the individual they connected with had the same path of life. And that happened to me too. I was so surprised that the girl I connected with, our paths were so similar, and it made me feel like I'm not alone. Why? Why am I inspired? Because now I have the confidence that before I didn't have a marketing team to diversify my pharmacy locally. Now I found a TV station that I connected with, or an attorney, and another thing, an attorney. It's so hard to find which attorney to pick. Evelyn was amazing. I was able to share with her so many things, and she was so open and loving about giving me free advice right here. And we needed a CPA, and then we had all that. I found 3 things that I have been looking and reading through reviews and which professional should I pick, and they were all here for me to just connect and hire for my business. So that really helped, especially when you're a business entrepreneur. You don't want to spend your time reading reviews, asking questions, calling. That takes a lot of your time. So this allowed me not only to connect on a personal level, but to get so much perspective without having to sit in a formal and get free consults and spend 3 hours with someone I don't know. So kudos to you, Bethany. Definitely love that, and I'm excited to support Female for Profits and be part of future events.
It was great. We encountered a lot of powerful women. We got together, we connected, we got to meet other powerful women that are struggling maybe with the same things that we are struggling as an individual, and together we came to create an amazing energy that bonded all of us together.
What I absolutely loved about this event, again, is that Bethany didn't make it just about real estate, right? Because then you don't find anything new to talk about. Walking in, I literally told myself, smile, be super nice to people, and learn something new. Otherwise, what was the purpose of coming to this event, right? So I did just that. I smiled, I was super nice to people, and I did learn something new. And when it comes to me as a numbers person, finances are very important to me. I learned that it wasn't just me thinking that interest rates are like the monster, right? Like I hate credit cards. I'll pay it before the end of the month. Before I get hit with the interest rates, I refuse to make them, richer than they are, the monopoly that they are. So it was a confirmation that the interest rates must be as low as humanly possible, especially when I work in construction and things like that. I fight for 3%. If I throw myself in the fire, I will for the 3%. So, these are confirmations of like when you're growing a business. And another comment was, don't be afraid of starting a company. We have about 4 different entities. They've all been started by my husband. I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is going great. Now my interior design brand hasn't been started because I'm afraid of not being perfect. Like my brand, the name, all of those things. Like, okay, the name can't just be a stupid name. It has to be a good one, like the perfect one. No, it doesn't. Just start. Just get it out there. So a lot of the comments here were like, don't be afraid. Just go, start, and I really love it.
One thing that we should have talked about more they should have talked about was how, I know a lot of them, how they started off, but I wanted to hear more of their failures and what made them more successful. Not all of them pointed out everything that how many challenges they had. So I would have liked to hear more of the challenges rather than how they are already successful.
That's going to be actually a phenomenal topic for one of our next events, I guess.
For sure.
That's actually
It's going to be hands-on.
Because like for instance, like right now I'm young and I don't know exactly how to start something, and I know they were just talking about, oh, I'm already successful. And yeah, I liked how Bethany said, how'd you get to your CEO position? And I like that she asked that, but I think all of them needed to be asked that because they're all such powerful women, and they should have, gone into more detail about that. I need help of how to start.
I definitely think having a workshop where we develop, I can't remember who it was that talked about the credit debt situation that we have as women and the financial aspect of learning how to develop your financial nest as a woman, whether you're in a marriage or just single as I am. And I've taken a priority this year to really sit down and really figure out what I need to do to be secure as a woman and as someone that I want to be able as an entrepreneur 5-10 years from now, then I know that the decisions I make right now are going to make all the difference. So I think if we had the next event we had is more of a workshop. So we talk about it, but let's apply it. And they talked about Susie Orman today, which was amazing, because let me tell you, Susie Orman, she's in my mind. I'm reading her book about women and financial wealth. And now every time I make a purchase, I'm thinking, oh, what would Susie Orman do? So I think developing a workshop where we actually apply, because we can talk about it, which was the first step, but if we can really apply it moving forward, I think that would be the next step.
Something that I really valued about Bethany and that I felt like, I want to join forces with her. It was the fact that she was just genuinely interested in giving value first before asking. She took the time to build a community before asking for people to buy her services or come to her event. And I really resonated with that because that's what I was kind of looking for. As a female entrepreneur, I was feeling kind of isolated in my journey, lonely at times, because I feel like, am I the only one trying to pursue my goals and my dreams and building my business? There has to be other women out there doing the same things that I'm doing and struggling with trying to do it all, right? And so one of the things that I really felt like, I'm going to support this girl. I'm going to, even if she doesn't have it all together, I'm going, all the details of the event, I'm going to go next to her and let's face this together, because I just feel like the heart of like her heart was in the right place, and you get to see that. Like I feel like that's something that through social media you can kind of like put pretty filters and like all this nice post, but when you meet someone and you have that genuine connection, you cannot fake that.